Welcome to Shout It Out. This is the home of motivational and inspirational voices. This is the show where we bring people from diverse backgrounds coming to tell their stories of their life's journeys, of how they started, where they are now and where they're going, including the struggles they had. And I will give you some golden nuggets as we go through. Our guest today is going to blow your mind. He's got an interesting journey, interesting story, the stuff he's doing. So I'm going to introduce him now. He is none other than Jeremiah Tetteh. He is a music manager and a creative entrepreneur. That's a big term. Welcome, Jeremiah, to Shout It Out.
Thank you very much.
How are you? How have you been? You all right?
Fine, not too bad, you know.
Fantastic. Okay. I thought that was a rather long title I was giving you out there.
No.
But you deserve it, you know, all the stuff
much,
you're doing. Welcome. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to make it here. I'm sure our audience appreciate you as well. So normally, how we normally just kick it off at Shout It Out, we just want to know a bit about you. Right. You know, who is Jeremiah Tetteh?
Right.
Yeah, so if you just tell us who you are.
I was born here from Ghanaian descent.
Okay.
So I'm 27 as well.
Wow, you're quite young.
Yeah, quite young. I kind of feel old at the same time, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Just grew up in North London, East London, Hertfordshire. Went to America for a little bit.
Okay.
Got I've been around, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm in North London at the moment, and obviously I do music management and events. So.
Good. No, that's interesting. I mean, everyone wants to get into music management and events these days, but we'll touch on that later. How was growing up in North London? I mean, did you encounter things like peer pressure, or was it okay growing up?
No, from young, I've never really been a person of peer pressure. I'd say like all the stories I used to hear from when I was younger is like. Even back to going to nursery, I'd run ahead of my grandma to the nursery and tell them, oh, my nan let me walk to school by myself, and they'd be getting worried this shouldn't be happening. And
correct.
They'd actually believe me, and my nan would get there just tired, trying to chase after me, and they'd be like, yeah. So I've always kind of been, standing out on my own thing and just doing what I do best. To be fair.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's interesting. So, at what sort of age did you decide, I want to make being a music manager, managing artists, your career?
I think that came way later. So obviously before I started off with doing events, I had a 16th birthday.
Okay.
It was alright, a lot of people. Okay. Then I was in college, I was doing business studies.
Right, okay.
We must have got given a coursework to do where it was organise an event. And so we was organising it, but we wasn't actually meant to do it in real life. Yeah. And I remember talking to one of my classmates, and I was like, I could actually do this. And no, you can't. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I done it. I done it with my friend.
Well done.
Shad. And so we done it together. And after that, we had one of the biggest artists at the time, J Huss.
Yeah.
That was our first show. We done it with J Huss.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sold it out in Luton. After that we just kept on going.
Wow.
Then, so obviously where I had some friends that were DJs. One of my friends, K-Dog, I was working with him at the time. Just even when you're with your friend, it's not even a title. So it was I was going to shows with him, just kind of sorting things out, arranging things. Okay. And one of my other friends was like, you know what, you'd be a good manager. You should look into that. And then so I remember thinking maybe I would. So I went to try and do research about it. So I ended up watching a couple interviews, and I remember I watched one that actually changed my whole view. Was there's an artist called Chance the Rapper, and his manager had an interview at the time, and they basically asked him what it is to be a manager, what made you get into it, and everything he was saying, it was resonating and hitting home with me, and I was like, wow, I think this is what I want to do. Wow. And then I just pushed forward with it.
No, I like what is you guys did this a little project, and you thought about it. You asked your mates, and your mates said, go ahead with it. Because it's good to surround yourself with good people. Because sometimes if you don't have the right people backing you, they'll probably, instead of encouraging you, they'll discourage you. But I'm glad from that sort of age, you had people around you that could sort of help you get to the next level, So tell me a bit about Plush House.
So Plush House is a company I work for now, run by Jamil Carroll. So I work underneath him and basis Quengface and Young T and Bugsy. And so those are obviously quite big UK artists.
They are.
And we run their day to day, shoots, everything. just managing them as artists.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it's amazing. All the experience, the rooms you go into, the people you meet, you can't pay for this experience. So I'm just grateful to even be there and No,
right. So at the back of that, that's good, by the way. Well done, well done. I mean, I also had music aspirations when I was young. But you know what normally happens in life? As you grow older, sometimes you don't meet your target or you fail and you give up. Yeah. You know, so I wanted to be an artist as well.
Oh, wow.
You know, but what ended up happening, because I didn't get the right people or meet the right people at the right place at the right time. And I think that is key. You know, when you're trying to venture out there, it's very key, number one, to be encouraged. Like Jeremiah's just telling us here, he had friends around him that were encouraging him, saying he would be a good manager. And he believed in that and he pursued it. So people out there that are on the same journey, believe in yourself. You can do it. Jeremiah has done it. You can do it as well. Right. Coming back to the back of Plush House, because they're the people, the management company you work for. But you also have your own managing team, Divine Management.
Divine Power Management.
Divine Power Man. I like that name. How did you come up with that name?
Through God, to be fair.
Say that again. I love that.
Through God, to be fair, yeah.
Okay. So. Did you see this as a vision, or how did you come about Divine?
Do you know what it is like? I think it's just been an up and down where like, I've always had faith. I'd say that like, there's one thing that
very important.
I grew up in a Christian household. Obviously, situations happened when I was younger, and I ended up living by myself from like 17. Okay. And obviously, like I said, my friends were very pinnacle in my coming up, and so for a while I was even away from church and didn't want to hear anything about it, but there was a time when I did start managing artists again, and then I had like, you know, I decided when I was at uni to try and go to church, get a bit closer to God. Yeah. And I was so one of the artists I'm still working with named B Money. Yeah. At that time we was getting ready to do a song, and like I felt like, you know, I needed like a management company or something like a household or like a power hold behind it sort of thing. And so when I was praying and everything, then the name just came to me. It was like Divine Power Management. And when I said it just sounded right. So I just went with it.
Wow. You see, when you work with God, everything sounds right. You've just told us you thought about this, you prayed about it, and it came to your mind. Yeah. And there you are. You have your own management company now, Divine Power. I like that, because when you call the name of Jesus in certain things start happening. You know, so I'm really glad for you. So, at the stage you're in now, I'm just going to get the engineer just to show us some clips of the stuff you've done with your management teams and things like that. So if I get the engineer just to play a few clips of some of those... Amazing. Well done. Well done. I can see you guys are doing big things out there. Yeah. You know, and as I mentioned earlier on, as long as you have God behind what you're doing, you're going to succeed. So tell me a bit about your branding company, the branding part, the Pop Out.
Yeah. So Pop Out, obviously, where I've done events, like in the past, we've had different names as you've seen up there. So the Illicit Entertainment, and we had something called Vibes on Me, and like, you know, we've just been looking for something just to stand out of its own, where we do just day events, day parties and things like that. And obviously we always wanted to work with our friends. So when the opportunity came with Pop Out, who we have friends that are DJs, and it just, you know, when something just makes sense. So
Correct.
It made sense to just work with them, like things we all want to go in one direction, and we all want to do bigger things. So and it's more than just a day party, or like just kind of like festivals or community events and outreach, things like that. So it's like the name made sense like to pop out places and just so yeah, it was just one of those days where we had a meeting after. So we done one last year for my birthday, and then we also recently just done one at Box Park, and yeah, so that went really well. And then so we kind of just sat down together after, and it just felt like one of those, you know, like almost like it was in a movie scene where like you've just had that meeting at the beginning, and you hear the background of the line. That was the moment we knew, and it felt like that was the moment where we knew that things could, you know, really go up for us. So we decided to like really lock in, and it was like, yeah, this is what we want to do. So Pop Out is just more, I'd say it's more than just parties. Like I said, we want to do festivals, we want to do things for the community and just in general, like whether here or back home in Ghana or even different countries, and just make impacts. I think that's the message behind it all.
Wow. I mean, I'm quite excited the steps you guys are taking and the progress you're making, you know, and I like you have a very strong team behind you that's sort of empowering you, encouraging you, you know. Let me know when the next one is at Box Park. I'll feature there. Come make some shouted out noise there as well.
No worries.
You know, you're a man of many talents, because you manage artists, you know, you run your own management company, and you also do podcasts. Tell me a bit about the podcast you do, because I was reading about you on your biography there. It says you discuss real things. So just tell us a bit about the podcast.
Yeah, so the podcast I have with my friend Joanne and my other friend DJ K-Log, it's called the Free Season Show. So it's the three of us. Obviously, we've been good friends for like 10 plus years now.
Wow. And
we just decided like a while ago, I just had a conversation and I was like, obviously we all like to chat, like we have conversations about what's trending and just different things, you know, like topics that it's almost taboo to speak about or people are afraid to speak of, and was like why don't we just do a podcast? And now we always said we wanted to do it, so we decided to do it. And obviously we was doing it a couple of years ago. I think we got out like 3-4 episodes.
That's good.
Obviously life started picking up for all of us, and so we had to drop it off, but we decided that this year, well, the end of last year was the right time to bring it back.
Oh, that's good.
And just to progress. And like I said, I feel like right now when you're moving in faith and things just all start clicking and making sense, it's like everything right now just starts to make sense. So we're just doing, just going with God right now.
Wow. No. Listen, you're making progress. I mean, for people out there, we have Jeremiah right here. You know, manages a number of artists, has his own management company. His story has been telling us, you know, it's not been easy. There was even a time where he had to move out of home. But you see, one thing I'm really excited about is you did not let that condition dictate your future.
No, you know? For real. Because I think even when I did get kicked out, like at 17, I think like that and like a point later on in life, I'd say there was 2 points where it was kind of like I almost let it get the better of me. Because normally I'm somebody that like has a lot of faith, and like people will always say like you're crazy for how do you think of these things, like how do you think it's gonna work, or like how do you think you can do this, and it's like it always shocks people like when I do it. So I know at that point, even being so young in college, like it was one of those moments where it was like like I didn't know if I was gonna, you know, and like I said, if it wasn't for my friends, because even like a year of college I almost didn't pass the college, and it's like when college had finished, they had sat with me to help me do all my coursework to make sure that I'd done all the rest of my assignments.
That's
that were
good,
due.
man.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it into the next year. And so I think when they did that, it was like, you know what, the least I can do. Like I was like, at this point, I owe it to myself to try. And so I did that. Went to university, graduated.
Oh, congratulations!
Like, thank you very much. And it's like obviously where life, you know, sometimes it gives you ups and downs. And I think a couple of years ago was where it got a bit very low for me. And then that's when, you know, I decided to really just get back into faith. And then that's when I say, you know what, ever since, like, God has really just been working.
Good. I love that.
The progress is crazy, I
love that. Wow. I mean, that is amazing, Jeremiah, I must say. You know, right through the conversation, one key thing that always has stood out is you've mentioned the power of God. And that has helped transform you, that has helped put you in a circle with your friends to help take you from where you are to the next level. Talking about the next level, what's the next big thing for Jeremiah?
The next big thing, obviously, I've got the artists I'm working with, you know, we've all got singles coming out. And I think right now, the best thing that can happen is like taking over the UK scene.
Wow, that'll be amazing.
Realistically, that's the next big thing that is planned to happen.
Wow.
So just want to
take over
and take over. Like this is just the beginning. So like, it's only right if we can tackle this small hurdle, then the rest of the world shouldn't be too.
My gosh, that's amazing, man. Yeah. So basically, what you're telling us, this is just a tip of the iceberg.
No, definitely, yeah. Like,
so there's bigger and better things yet to come.
For sure. Like,
Right, fantastic. Right, so you're a young guy, and you're doing so much. When do you find the time to rest, visit family, or are you planning to start a family, or do you have a family already?
No, I've got a family, but I don't have kids or anything. I think that will come,
in time.
In time, obviously. I'm still working. I just want to make sure by the time it gets to that, like, they will come out to the best situation possible, and I can give them a very good life. But I definitely do want to have kids. Therefore, want to get married. And right now, I just say, really, this year the whole plan is to just really focus, lock in on work, and make sure that we finish the year strong. And like, as much for one important thing for me is like quality time. So very even important. If it's just like a phone call to like my dad, like I like having good phone calls with my dad, or even my mom, or like my aunt who like really helped me through life. Like I say, shout out to Auntie Lizzie.
Shout out Auntie Lizzie.
But it's like, if I'm not speaking to them or like some of my other friends and like my siblings and that, then therefore I'm just trying to visit them whenever I can. But more time right now this year. It's just about working, so next year or the end of the year we can all have a better year.
Hey, wow! In Jesus' name, fantastic. Right. So if there are people out there, Jeremiah, they've heard your story, and they're in a similar situation, for example. They probably started in life, failed. They wanted to be in the music industry, maybe singer, artist, producer, but it didn't work out for them. And they're watching this live now. What advice do you have for them?
I'd say never give up. That's one thing. Keep on going, even if people are telling you like, the moment you stop believing, that's when it'll stop working. Therefore, have faith and just believe. Obviously, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God. So I'd encourage you to believe in God as well, because with God it helps and it therefore works. But now, just honestly, don't give up. Like, keep on pushing. Like, it's not gonna happen overnight. And I know that for me, especially, like, there's been days where I'll see around it's working, and other people are climbing new heights, and there's a bit of me that's like, wow, like this is so cold. I want to be like that. But it's like, your time's coming, so you just gotta keep on going. And if you really want it, work for it as well. It doesn't mean just like sit around and say, I want to do this or da 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 da. No, push yourself. And like, obviously you're gonna have your friends around you that might say, you sure you want to do this? Because obviously, like, what I like to say is, like, if I'm stood here and you're sat there, like, I can see something different than what you can see. So they can't always see what's ahead. And what you've got planned or what you can see. So it doesn't mean they won't support you. Just they can't see your vision. Like, we're not all on the same journey. So just keep on pushing and just have faith and know that you can do it.
You can do it. Wow. I mean, that is amazing. We could even close the show now. Those are very wise words. I mean, I admire because you sound like a visionary. You have the vision, and let's say your friends are like the vision helpers. There are people watching there that would probably want to reach you. What's the best way of them reaching you?
My Instagram, Jeremiah_Tetteh. So you can reach me on there. That's really I think that's the best way to
That's the best way, yeah?
Yeah,
because you're always on the move.
Just send me a DM. I mean, if you see me as well, don't be afraid to, stop me, say hi or have a conversation. Like, that's one thing I want to do anyway, is to help people get into a better position. Like, if there was more people that could help me, that could help how I've been helped, so it'll be amazing, or even just to get to a higher stage, because I feel like, especially here, there isn't that many helpers around. So if there's a way we can open a door and everyone can,
well, that's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, the stuff you're telling us on Shout It Out right now, this is quality stuff. It just shows you're a person with a big heart. You've got a heart to help, and you're making a difference for yourself, and you're making a difference in the community. So for people out there that's been struggling, if you've not watched this show from the start, please make sure you watch it from the start. You need to hear Jeremiah's story. It's not always been good or nice, But he's had his challenges. But in the midst of his challenges, he's been able to overcome these challenges. And he's been able to do that by the grace of God. So for those of you that are struggling, he's opened his heart to you guys out there. Make sure you get in touch. Make sure you email him. Make sure you go to his Instagram. I'm sure he'll make a way for you to help, because he has a heart to help. If you have that inclination to become a music manager, producer, he can guide you along the ways, you know. So anything else you want to say to the audience out there about your shows, upcoming events and things like that?
Yeah, got some. I mean, when you go to my page, you'll see the artists and people I work with.
Okay.
Just shout out to them. Shout out to Guapi, B Money, Nikos, Young T, Bugsy, Quench Stace, Jamil, obviously, and Posh House team. Yeah, and just like I said, keep on believing and don't give up, and just keep on going, and have faith. Through God, everything can work.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Wow, through God, everything can work. I mean, you don't normally get these things said out loud, but Jeremiah, he's basing that on his success, on his progress. You know, one key thing I picked up from the conversation we've been having is he didn't let his current situation dictate his future. I'm sure you've heard that numerous times on this show, but that's how it is. And you have to call a spade a spade. You have to say how things are. You know, this is how it is for him. This is what transformed his life. If his life can be transformed, you out there, your life can also be transformed. You know, so don't stop dreaming. You know, I was talking to someone the other day, they were asking me, how do you define imagination?
Yeah.
You know, and I was saying, well, imagination is a preview of life's coming attraction. And it was like, wow, it's like a movie. I said, yeah, it is. So you have the movie in your head. Not all of us can sort of transform that movie into reality. So if you have the idea, like you are a visionary, you know, you see things, you have the idea, you table it with your friends, and then they help and empower you, advise you, and you guys all move together. And with the vision you have now to take over the UK, wow. When you take over the UK, don't forget Shout It Out.
No, definitely not, man. I'll come in for another one, 100%.
No, it's been nice having you. But before you go, I just wanted you to give shout out to your guys that's been helping. I know you called a few of them, so yeah. I'm going to give you a minute or two. Just give shout out to your mates that has been helping you.
Right,
you
cool. know, shout out to Emmanuel, Shad, Kevin, Pedro, Kelvin, Alotti, Demi, Michelle, Joanne, Jada, Angel. Who else can I say? Obviously, my dad, my aunts, my siblings, Jesse, Albie, Tasia, my cousins, Erica, Shanti, Kawani, Isaiah, Destin, Levi. I've got a big family, but shout out to everybody. Like,
go for it.
Shout out to everybody. The names right now, because I'm on live TV, it's not, you know. No, but honestly, no, big shout out to everybody. Like, honestly, without everyone, like I say, without all of these people, like, even though it's been a difficult journey, like, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for them. And, like, if I didn't go the path I went, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm very grateful for it, you know. And
I mean, at 27, the stuff you've achieved at 27.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, it takes them a lifetime to achieve what they have. So you must be blessed.
I mean, yeah, like, you know, at first I never really felt like that. I've always felt like, like, why is things not working for me? But, like, honestly, when you take a minute to sit down and even get invited to this, like for a second, I was thinking, really? Like, why would you want to interview me? But, like, I had to take it in, like, and realize, like, you know what, like, I should be proud of my accomplishments.
You should be,
like, you know? Yeah. I need to really start taking into consideration that and just be grateful for the things I've done and grateful for the blessings that God's, like, has given me and how far I've come. So,
you honestly, see, one key reason why we had to get you on the show is there are a lot of people out there that had the same aspirations as you, and they've not been fortunate enough to have friends to help them or to meet people, to be at the right place at the right time, and things have not worked out. So we've spotted you out, you're doing very well for yourself, and we're like, you know what, we want to bring you in, let other people see that it's possible, because a lot of people don't believe in themselves. 100%. So we just want them to see it's possible. If Jeremiah can do it, they can do it. And wow, I can only imagine another 27 years, you'd have definitely taken over the UK.
Well, by that time, they're not even scary, the places we could have gone to by 27 years. But no, honestly, as long as like I'm doing everything in my destiny and like everything I've been called to do, you know, going to places I'm meant to go, like I'll be happy, honestly, and like as long as I can, like I said, I just want to help. So as long as I can keep on impacting, like, you know, and God allows me to be a blessing to others and go to different countries and places, hey, I'm going to be happy.
Wow.
My thing is just, if everyone around me is happy, I'll be happy. Of course, I'd like the nice things as well.
No, definitely,
enjoy,
definitely,
but like,
definitely.
Like, in general, like on a base, if everyone around me is happy, then I'm happy and I've done it. I've done it right.
Wow. Jeremiah, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. You've been an inspiration to people out there. You've been an inspiration to young people. And over to you, the audience. You know, this is a classic example of not giving up. Jeremiah's told you his life story. He has worked extremely hard. And at the age of 27, he's doing big things. Managing artists, has his own management company, has his own branding company. You know, it can be done. Keep believing in yourself. If you've missed this episode, go and watch it again. Stay blessed. Ciao for now. Bye. Ha 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 ha.